It began like any other anniversary. I woke up early, a bit nervous but excited. I had planned everything down to the last detail. A romantic dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date, a small handwritten letter tucked inside a gift box, and tickets for a weekend getaway. After years of ups and downs, I thought it was time to reignite the spark in our relationship. Little did I know, that day would change everything I thought I knew about my wife and our marriage. The morning had a strange vibe. My wife, Sarah, was quieter than usual. She gave a half-hearted smile over breakfast and seemed distracted. I brushed it off, thinking she was just tired or stressed. Life had been hectic for both of us. Jobs, family obligations, and the routine of daily life. I told myself that maybe this anniversary celebration was just what we needed to reconnect. But as the day went on, her mood didn't improve. She stayed glued to her phone, barely acknowledging my attempts to start a conversation. By the afternoon, I began to feel a growing sense of unease. Something wasn't right. I wondered if I had done something wrong, or if she was upset about something I had forgotten. When I asked if she was okay, she simply waved it off with a short, "I'm fine." Evening arrived, and I put on my best suit, hoping our dinner would lift her spirits. Sarah hesitated before getting ready, almost like she didn't want to go. Still, she joined me, looking beautiful, but carrying the same distant expression. I couldn't shake the feeling that she was there physically, but her mind was elsewhere. At the restaurant, I did my best to set a romantic tone. I talked about our memories, the funny moments, and the challenges we had overcome together. She smiled faintly, but her responses were short and almost robotic. I could tell she wasn't really listening. My stomach churned, and I sensed something was coming, but I wasn't ready for what was about to happen. The breaking point came when the waiter brought out dessert, a small cake with "Happy Anniversary" written in chocolate. As I raised my glass to make a toast, Sarah put hers down. Her eyes filled with tears, and before I could ask what was wrong, she whispered, "I need to tell you something." My heart sank. The air between us grew heavy, and I could feel my pulse quicken. "What is it?" I asked cautiously, trying to keep my voice steady. "I regret marrying you," she said, her voice trembling. For a moment, I couldn't process her words. They hung in the air like a thunderclap. I stared at her, hoping I had misheard, but her expression confirmed it. She looked broken. "What do you mean?" I managed to ask, my throat feeling dry. She went on to explain that she felt trapped, that our marriage wasn't what she thought it would be, and that she had been holding on to these feelings for years. "I don't know who I am anymore," she said, her voice cracking. "I feel like I've lost myself in this marriage." I didn't know what to say. Anger, sadness, confusion, everything hit me all at once. I wanted to argue, defend myself, or beg her to reconsider. But as I looked at her, I realized this wasn't something I could fix. Her mind was made up. We sat in silence for what felt like an eternity. I paid the bill, and we left the restaurant without a word. The drive home was agonizing. Every second felt like a slow unraveling of the life I thought we had built together. When we got home, she went straight to bed. I stayed in the living room, replaying the night in my head. I thought about the years we had spent together, the sacrifices I had made, and the plans we had for the future. And now it was all gone. As I sat there, something shifted inside me. I realized I couldn't stay. Not in this marriage, not in this house, and not in this life we had built on a foundation that had clearly crumbled long ago. By morning, I had made my decision. I packed my bags quietly, taking only what I needed. I left a note on the kitchen counter. "I hope you find the happiness you're looking for. Goodbye." I didn't tell her where I was going because, truthfully, I didn't know. I just needed to get away, to start over, to figure out who I was without her. Months later, I found myself in a new city with a new job and a new outlook on life. It wasn't easy, but I finally felt free. I stopped blaming myself for what happened and began focusing on what I wanted for my future. Looking back, her confession was the most painful thing I had ever experienced, but it was also the catalyst I needed to find myself again. Sometimes, the hardest endings are the ones that set us free.